Hi.
Hello! So, welcome to the Slam Jam Wrestling Show here on Extreme Improv, Xstreamed's YouTube channel, and other channels as well if you're watching us on Twitch, Facebook, so on and so forth. We're so live, in fact, that you may have just missed that because it's literally just popped up saying it's live now after I've just introduced the show. But we're going to discuss all things wrestling. We'll do some quick-fire wrestling games, maybe a slightly shorter show today, but it depends how deep we get into our debate and subject. So let's just quickly go around. I am David, and so I don't normally introduce myself, which I always mean to. Gav, say hello to the people.
Hello, I am Gav.
Yes, you are. Oh, like wrestling fact. I'll even come up with one today. Gav, do you have a wrestling fact for us?
Wrestling fact. I haven't even thought of that, to be honest. Wrestling fact. I have to come back around.
Okay, Sarajit, say hello to the people.
Hi, I'm Shorojit. I'm also a big wrestling fan. And wrestling fact, I don't know. I haven't actually thought about it.
Well, this is my bad. I should I should have said beforehand. So this has gone swimmingly well. My wrestling fact is going to be this: that oh god, like Conan, like used to be like when he was in WWE, like for a snippet of time he was going to be Max Moon, but I don't think we ever actually saw him on TV because when they actually did have Max Moon, it was just someone else. So I don't know why that was the fact that came to my head, but there you go.
I was going to say, I did not know that, so that's something.
Did you not? Like, I swear, I might be making this up, so if it turns out that this is bullshit later, then I apologise. But, like, Conan signed with WWE, his gimmick was going to be, like, Predator from the movie, Predator.
Yeah.
And then they had all this, like, blue stuff and that, and I think he may have either tried it and it didn't work out, or he may have wrestled, but, like, not on TV, and by the time, like, this suit, like, cost a lot. And Conan was like, I'm a big star in Mexico. What am I dressed like this goon for? And so it didn't work out.
I always thought it was him.
Wait, do you know what? I'm gonna fact check this during the show. I'm sure that isn't actually because I'm trying to remember. There's like, was he like in the Royal Rumble 1992 or something like this?
I can't remember.
Something like that. I'll look up the history of Max Moon, but I'm sure it wasn't Conan that we see.
Arms and whatnot as well.
Yeah, all of like the lights or whatever it is.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so on that note, I'm going to choke to death here.
Wrestling fact I've got.
Okay, go.
Howard Finkel was the first person that was employed by WWF then.
What, like by Vince or like by Vince Senior or
by Vince when Vince
when he took over? The first person he hired is Howard Finkel.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, that is a cool fact. Okay, Sarajit, have you mustered up a fact, or shall we power on?
It's power on. I'm still blank right
now. Okay, so what I think we should do, because like obviously stuff comes up, and like last week we didn't have a show. I think we should just like catch up with some of the things that's like going on in the wrestling world, and obviously. We've now got, like, guys, in fact, I'm going to make an announcement here myself, that next week we will have Slam Jam 2.0, because, like, I think it's time, you know. But obviously, we've had NXT 2.0. Have either of you guys seen it?
I haven't, unfortunately.
Oh,
I've
wow.
only seen, like, little highlights here and there.
Well, okay, but that's enough to be getting along with. Like, any Sarajit, have you seen it?
Same as Gab, only highlights.
This is going so well, right?
I was going to say, it's not even that much of a highlight either. That's mostly people's shins.
No, but yes, this is what I mean. Like, there is, like, a clear barrier around. It looks like they're sat in a circus tent.
Yeah, it's so weird to me.
It's very weird. It doesn't look... I don't know why they thought, like, this is the look, but to me, it looks less rather than more.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen it. What do you think of it?
I don't know, like the look at the show, I felt it's definitely brighter. Like lots of people would say that NXT always looks quite dark and quite, like, in a sense, lower budget, 'cause then you'd see Dynamite, which it was up against, and that would look higher budget. But I always liked that. For me, it was like got that Ring of Honor, like that old ECW sort of you know, this is more bare bones, like it's more about the in-ring stuff kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So
I was going to say, I agree with you. I actually prefer the old version. Not that I've seen the new one properly, but I do prefer the what's the word? The aura of the old show.
yeah, absolutely. Like if
that
if
kind of,
let's go ahead,
that
Sarajit.
kind, yeah, that kind of give us like raw, hardcore indie version, not like this rainbow butterfly version.
Yeah, it's super weird. Like I think we've said when they like announced it that like Dynamite was like when it started, it was all like the intro was all this puffs of like powder, like explosions of color, and it's like, well, we need to do that. That's the solution. It could have just been that because obviously it was like the black and gold, like the ropes and everything. If they'd just like updated like the color, they'd changed it. Like if you remember, like WWF, like back in the day, it used to be like the red, white, and blue ropes, and then when it went to like Monday Night Wars sort of thing, they made it just like, was it just red or just black or yeah?
Red, only red.
Yeah, that's
But it's
right.
like they could have just done something like that, where it was like, okay, so this is distinct visual change, like brightened up something. If they were like, they just wanted to have a slight identity change, but like the whole layout of everything doesn't quite sit well with me. But I suppose like the big thing out of it, if you've seen any clips or anything, is Bron Breakker. Quite possibly the worst name that there's come up with in many a year. But he seems like he's going to be a huge star.
I haven't actually seen him. I've seen like little photographs of him, but I haven't actually seen him wrestle yet.
Well, he's an absolute powerhouse. Like
Right.
he's in terms of, you could compare it to like when they got Brock Lesnar, and it's like, oh my god, this guy's going to be a big star. Like he's like this big guy who's going to throw people around. Like, you know, he is a breaker, but like he's a Steiner, and he looks like a Steiner. Like again, he's got, maybe this is just like the Bron Breakker show because his color scheme like matches the NXT 2.0 look, but realistically, it kind of just looks like, especially what his dad Rick Steiner used to wear. But like when he speaks, he sounds like, I think he sounds more like Scott Steiner, which is weird. But yeah, he's got that kind of bitey kind of sort of voice, and yeah, like everything looks like they're going to push him to the moon. But I think from the reception he's got so far, the reaction is that, oh yeah, he is going. You know, it's not a mistake to push him. It's a good thing.
Maybe when he gets a little bit over, they'll feel confident to give him the Steiner name. Maybe, I don't know.
Do you know what? This is like the thing that are they just worried because it's either that he could go to AEW and be you know, just call himself Steiner, or like I've heard that it's just because Rick and Scott Steiner own it and they don't want to,
Oh, right.
even though like it's his son or his nephew, they don't want to do a deal and pay the Steiners anything for the name.
Wow.
Yeah, but like how many times have they done this with, like, they've got Joe Hennig and it's like, we'll call him Michael McGillicuddy, and it's like, we're going to bring it back to his heritage. He's going to be Curtis Axel, and it's like,
It's crazy. It's like even with Charlotte before, she wasn't even able to use the Flair name
yeah,
until she got established. Really. So,
yeah, and like Natalia, it was always Natty Neidhart, and
Exactly.
suddenly it's just Natalia. You know,
Isn't it? Yeah. But
very very strange stuff like this. Okay, but any other thoughts on NXT 2.0? If not, like, we can check it out and we can come back to it another time.
I've got to go back and have a look at the show.
Yeah,
See if I get any more time to watch any wrestling.
I know it's
So much.
yeah,
so much.
it's there's so much out there as well. Like, okay, so I think one thing which we can dig into, even if we haven't seen like Dynamite and stuff the last couple of weeks, is I saw a really interesting article earlier which suggested that Tony Khan is like 100% running the show, and that Kenny Omega, the Bucks, and Cody are like executive vice presidents in name only now. So
Oh, really?
literally
I was reading that article just today. I was just reading that article today that Tony Khan has completely taken over the creative side of the TV, of the show, and they are just EVPs only by for the name.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
interesting view there, because I've got a couple of thoughts on it. But the other thing, which I think, if it's the same article, it said, is that apparently, and I've heard this before, that Cody and then the others, Kenny and the Bucks, they aren't getting along. So now they've sort of like a divide where there's there's Cody on one side, and then Kenny and the Bucks on the other. And what my thought on this entirely was that All In was this huge thing, and Tony Khan, even if he had the money, he was a complete unknown in the wrestling world. He had no real, he didn't have any talent, he didn't have connections, so he partnered to whatever degree with Cody, the Bucks, and Kenny, so that he then got their connections, he got their clout, he got all of this. And look, 2 years later, if they're saying that literally, like, I've questioned for a long time, who out of the executive vice presidents will be the first to go back to WWE or to go to WWE? Like, will Cody go back, or will the Bucks or Kenny end up leaving? Now, obviously, Omega's currently the world champion, but if they're executive vice presidents in name only, how long are they going to look at their position on the card and think, well, I'm just another guy?
I'll be honest, I can't see the Bucks going to WWE.
Ever?
I can't. Ever. Not that I can see. I probably think Cody would go first, if anything. If that is the case, so...
Yeah.
What's the crowd turning on Cody?
Well,
I can understand it. Trust me.
That's why he's praising Triple H so much lately.
Yeah.
It's the thing that always happens, though, because, like, you can look at Cody and be like, well, there's him and Brandy, like Triple H and Stephanie, and
if I'm being really honest, I think Brandy tries to take over as well.
Possibly.
She steals a lot of people's pops. I'm going to say it, I don't care. She steals a lot of people's pops, I think, and even the heat she tries to take. And I think there's a term where you need to let that person sell. You shouldn't be stealing anyone's pop or heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think she does it quite a lot. So,
the interesting thing on that is, if you saw Dynamite, I think last week, or maybe it was Rampage, but Cody against Malachi Black.
Yes.
I watched the match, I looked down a second, and I looked up, and Malachi sat in the ring like he does, and Brandy sat in the ring flipping him off. I was like, how is this not a disqualification? It's like...
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So I think...
supposed to be the face as well.
Sorry?
She's supposed... Brandy and Cody are supposed to be the face in all of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just ruins psychology, Like, it just doesn't work like that. She shouldn't be going... Black, of all people, you shouldn't be going in the ring challenging him. You should be a bit taken aback.
Well, yeah, I agree. Just because, like, if you think that Malachi Black, he took out Arn Anderson, he took out Cody, I think he's, like, then beaten Dustin and stuff like this. It's like, that she would... I think it undermines him. I think you're right. I think you're completely right.
It's basically the same kind of Stephanie role.
Yeah.
Where it takes away... What's the word I'm looking for?
Maybe Undertaker, DDP. Maybe like Sarah and DDP. Undertaker's ex-wife.
Oh.
Undertaker's ex-wife, Sarah did with DDP.
Yeah, absolutely. But despite all of this, right, I genuinely, I've never disliked Brandy. Like, I understand this criticism. I like Brandy. Like, I think what's happened is, again, going back to this, there's Kenny and the Bucks over here, and then Cody being one of the elite and everything. I think when he went on the Indies, he hooked onto who was popular at the time, and then I think there's been this power play the whole time, and I think when you've got Cody and the Bucks and they're like amazing friends with Adam Page and all this sort of thing, Cody is the absolute outsider there. So he's like, we're bringing in Dustin. You know, my wife's going to be the chief branding officer. And it's like, and it literally from the beginning, I think he's been putting some of his people around him. It's like, you know, we're going to bring in Arn Anderson. We're going to bring in like Tony Schiavone and lots of people who he will have crossed paths with or his dad will have crossed paths with, so that it's not all like Ring of Honor group over here or New Japan group. There's definitely like a Team Cody going on as well.
Right. I didn't even know. Like, I did find it a bit weird that he wasn't getting involved, but I didn't know the backstory. You see, so
yeah, like because like what do you guys know? What's it called? The YouTube show that they do, Being the Elite.
Yeah.
Like Cody doesn't even do that anymore at all.
Really?
Yeah, he definitely seems like he's on the outside of it all.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. So coming back to this, so even if there's like the two factions amongst the executive vice presidents, apparently Tony Khan has gone full Jacksonville Dixie, and
to be honest, I think that's the best way to go ahead.
Okay, good. Tell us why, Gav.
The reason why I always say that wrestlers should not be creative. If you're an active wrestler, of course you're going to put yourself strong. You're going to always put yourself strong. You're going to give yourself the championship. You're going to put people over, but you're going to do it in a style to make you look good still.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's the problem with, I know, like, there's a Triple H problem. Like, back when he was wrestling, he was involved. And it was just like, yeah, get the shovel because I'm going to put myself over kind of thing. And I think, although it might not be true, that's what all the fans are going to be thinking in the back of
Do you know what? And I think you're completely right. I think a little bit, because like to Cody's credit, like I felt it was the dumbest storyline where he's like, if I don't beat Jericho, I will never challenge again. It's like, if Jericho had said that, but why would you say it yourself? So he was like, I'm never going to be world champion, and I think if he does like a major heel turn, then he can go back on that. But I think he's missed his opportunity.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Cody has missed his opportunity to be AEW World Champion.
I'll be honest with you. I don't rank. Don't get me wrong. He's a great talent, and I've seen him live, and I've seen him live a few times. I think he's really good. I don't know if he's got that next level.
What, Cody?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, of course he can main event, but to actually carry the title, he can win it. But to be on that next level,
yeah,
to run, I don't know.
He'll be suitable more like more of a transitional champion.
Yeah,
like,
maybe, but I don't
carrying
know.
a belt forward for someone else.
There's something missing. I don't know what it is.
Well, do you know what? That's an interesting thing. He could be, because like one of the big things about like Dusty is he was world champion 2 times, 3 times.
Yeah.
And not for very long. And Cody, he might even be happy with that. He might even, at some point, if they ever Forbidden Door it, he might say, "Oh, I'd like the NWA World Title again."
But I mean, Dusty, that's a different level. Dusty was that intangible character. He connected to everyone, and he had so much charisma as well.
Yeah.
And even the polka dots he pulled off.
Yeah.
I don't see that with Cody. Being honest.
I think one of the things with Cody is he's tried very, very hard on his delivery, and he's taken acting classes. And if like the match with Dustin and like the promos and like the emotion and even like at the end of the match, that's one of my favorite matches, honestly. When he was like, "I just need my brother," and everyone was like, "Oh, this is so real." But literally every Cody promo is like some deep emotional thing, and now I think people second guess it.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
And he does react a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that doesn't sell it. So I think, I don't know, like the acting classes, you even gonna bring up the melodramatic side, or like Honestly, I think sometimes some wrestlers need to get in a real fight to see how things are sold properly.
Sure.
Not
Okay,
in any-
so do you take Cody as someone that's never been in a real fight?
Yeah, it does feel that way to me. I'll be honest, and like a lot of wrestlers do feel that way to me. To be honest, like they can't throw a punch. Like, why throw a punch if you can't throw a punch?
Yeah,
in a match?
yeah.
I'm going to get slated all in this whole thing. Dean Ambrose is one that comes to mind.
What,
Like-
you don't... What, you think he's never had a real fight?
I don't think he has.
Wow, okay.
I don't think he's had a real fight. Like, he comes across as the bad man on TV and whatnot. Does not look like he's had a fight in his life. Like, to me. I've been in plenty, and he just doesn't seem like he has.
Do you know, like, it's interesting you say that, because, like, that feels like a big one to say, because that's so much his persona.
Yeah.
Look, we're being joined. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, this is now a fatal four-way.
It is. Perfect time for the run-in. We were just like this conversation has segued a few places, but we were just now onto the idea of what wrestlers we think have never been in a real fight, and I actually love that as a topic. I'm going to say
Most
one.
of them?
Well, I don't know. Like, you'd think, like, ever in their entire lives. Okay, here's one though, which I'm going to say, and someone might just instantly say, "Oh no, we know he has." But I just get the feeling that despite his, and maybe because of his size, I don't think that Braun Strowman has ever been in a real fight.
Probably not. No one's going to mess with him, though.
No one's going to mess with him. But the other thing is because sometimes it'll be funny when you hear the stories that like Jericho gets into a fight backstage with Goldberg, and Jericho dominates. I remember, I'm trying to think, years and years ago, it was like Mr. Wonderful and Vader got into a fight. And just looking at them, you think Vader's going to destroy him. But apparently, like, Mr. Wonderful was dominating. And like, it's... But, well, okay, so this, not to be unfair to Booker T, but Booker T and Batista, and when you see, like, the physique of Batista, but apparently Booker T kicked his ass.
Right, the thing is, like, I could tell that Booker's been in a fight.
Yeah, Booker's
Like,
definitely been in a fight.
Yeah, you could tell. Like, I don't know what it is. You can tell straight off with Booker. Like, I wouldn't mess with Booker.
No, I wouldn't
Right?
mess with Booker T.
'Cause,
I mean, I
like,
wouldn't mess with Batista either. But
I wouldn't mess with Batista as well. But, like, you're probably thinking that you might have a little bit more chance with him. I don't know what it is. Like, I can sense when people have had a fight and who hasn't. Maybe because I watch a lot of MMA and
yeah.
But yeah, there's certain people that just they come across as the hard man in character, and it just doesn't add up for me.
Yeah,
It just doesn't.
absolutely. Sarah G, who would you think is a wrestler that's never had a real fight?
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But see, like, I agree with that a lot more than when you say like because I suppose Dean Ambrose is like the deathmatch wrestler sort of person.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's done all that. I'm not gonna take it away from him. He's tough.
Yeah.
I
Like,
remember
all that stuff.
remember one episode from the Total Divas when he was in relationship with what's the girl's name? He's married to now.
Oh, Becky. Oh, Renee.
Who?
Renee. So they were having a family brunch outside, and some guy came up and he was disturbing Renee or something like that. He literally went up and grabbed that guy by his collar. And I don't know whether it was a work or it was a real thing.
A work.
but
It's got to be a work. They wouldn't put that on TV. You'll get arrested. Yeah. Okay, Andrew. Who do you think is a wrestler that's never been in a real fight?
Never been in a real fight. Well, there could be loads of.
Yeah, okay, but like, what's the surprising one? What's the one where like we're not trying to like shame them that they've never been in a real fight, but like which one just doesn't seem like they would actually live up to who they are? Like, or we can take this in a slightly different direction. It's like, despite their characters on TV, who is like legitimately the hardest? Who is like the toughest? Because there are people like that.
I could.
No, go for it, Gav. Oh, Haku, you said.
I was gonna say.
Did you say Haku?
Ming.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's one of the ones with the reputation.
Yeah. My feed is a bit slow. Yeah, Haku.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
me-
Yeah. What is it like? There's the rumors that like he bit someone's nose off and stuff. Like we shouldn't be laughing because that's like awful. It's like the worst thing in the world. But that is just like that is a scary individual.
I would say, I don't know, Roman Reigns.
You think he's what? Hang on. Do you think he's never been in a fight, or do you think he's like the genuinely the toughest?
Never been in a fight.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's amazing that we have no faith in the Shield now. It's like there's like Dean Ambrose, there's like Seth Rollins, it's like Roman.
I think Roman has.
Yeah, Roman
Probably.
is a player, right?
Yeah, Andrew, what you saying?
I don't know.
Okay, like, who else though do we think is like? Okay, let's. In fact, okay, I'm going to bring this up now. I'm winging this completely on the spot. I'm going to bring up the WWE roster, and we can say if we think that they would actually win in a real fight. So it'll take me a minute just for it to load. But I think a lot of them. I think the ones that that you'd think like John Cena, and John Cena might, but I don't think John Cena would win in the real fight if back in the day it was John Cena and like I don't know the Acolyte like Farouk and Bradshaw like
Oh wait.
yeah exactly. So have you guys seen that match? And I know John Cena's a little bit like half a generation older than them, younger than them. But have you seen that match? It was Public Enemy against the Acolytes.
Oh, yeah. I know the one.
If you haven't seen it, and if anyone like audience haven't seen it, apparently the story goes that before the match, the Public Enemy, they were told that they'd got the finish, and it's that the Public Enemy are going through a table, and they come up to Farouk and Bradshaw, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to do the table spot." And Bradshaw turns to Farouk. It's like, they're not good. What do we do? And Ron Simmons is like, if they're meant to go through a table, they're going through a table. And they literally kick the shit out of them. The chair shots are so hard. Now, the only thing I can say about Public Enemy in their favour here is they clearly knew they were taking a whipping. And they accepted it because you could see that they knew that they didn't have a choice. That their best course of action was to accept their fate. But they absolutely smashed them to the ground. But so yeah, if you haven't seen that, see that. Right, let's bring up some of the roster. So this is. Do we think they either would win in a real fight? Because obviously it depends who they're against.
Is this like winning a real fight against like the last generation or just any?
Just kind of like anyone, like we're not putting them against Marco Stunt, but other than that, do we think that they live up to where they are or like where they're ranked? So Roman, do we think he's tough or not?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Football player, yes, he is tough.
I mean, one of the things actually that like, and for some reason, and this is like a reputation thing, but when they talk about Samoan wrestlers, again, it always goes with the reputation that they are scary, tough. So I'm going, I will, based on that, I will say probably Roman is. Oh, we've lost Gav. I'm sure he'll be back.
Sorry. Oh, 1 second.
Don't worry, take your time.
Internet connection problems.
Yeah. And he's back. Okay, so we agree that Roman is tough. Next up, we've got the WWE Champion Big E. Genuinely tough or not?
The guys from Caribbean. I know he's tough.
Yeah, I believe Big E is tough.
We're all just going to say yes because we don't want to anger these people.
No. No. Like, here's the thing. Very soon, I don't mind that we will anger some of them. Right. Okay, so we've got the men and women's roster. Charlotte. I believe Charlotte's tough.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Gav, are you not convinced about Charlotte?
I'm not sure.
Did you see the match with Nia Jax?
Sorry.
Turned into sort of the match with Nia Jax has sort of turned into a bit of a shoot.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
The Survivor Series match with Rousey.
Then again, if your dad's Ric Flair, you're going to have to be, really, aren't you?
Well, see, like the thing about like Ric Flair is he survived a plane crash,
Yeah.
so it's like that's got to be tough. But
Yeah.
okay, So on the flip side, Becky. Do we think Becky Lynch is genuinely tough?
I think she's tough.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, like, with a real fight, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think one of the things that like really propelled Becky to get over was just like when she genuinely got a busted nose and she kept going through it. Doesn't mean that she'd win like in an actual brawl, but I'm gonna go that she's tough. I think she's tough.
Plus, she can talk. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
like I said, I mean,
Can't talk with a broken mouth.
yeah. Like for example, first of all, I have nothing but respect for Bianca Belair, but their feud at the moment when they've been talking on the mic, Becky Lynch like sounds like she's got bass in her voice, and then Bianca Belair sounds like she's on the Jerry Springer show. Like,
Yeah, okay. To be fair though, so she does have this tough Irish persona, and it's like it's not one that I would mess with. Like, if it was me versus Becky Lynch, I'm just going down. Just like
I was going to say, and the Irish love to fight as well.
exactly. Well, yeah, and it's true. It's true. Okay, so next up we've got Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
down.
Well,
Absolutely.
King of Strong Style. Is it just a moniker? I believe he's tough. But, okay, here's one. Perhaps we're going to start getting into ones that are more interesting. Damien Priest. What do we reckon?
That's the guy that does that, isn't it?
Yeah, let's see if I can show Damien Priest.
I would say he could probably handle himself.
Yeah, like
He looks like he can.
I think he's going to get beaten up. I think
Really?
let's put it like this. If we were to like go back in time, if we go to the AEW roster a second, and we said CM Punk, now we've seen him in UFC, and it's basically like we could go like would these guys actually be able to train and do anything in an octagon? And
Right.
Damien Priest, he gives that persona, like that, his style, but I think he's going to get like smithereens. I don't think he'll do it. And then we get to the tag team champions, RK Bro. And we can take these both together here, I guess. Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle, obviously is. We know that. That's his track record. But what do we think about Orton?
I think he could. Let me get this
I think
straight.
he's just going to dislocate his shoulder again. Like he
Well,
dislocated
that-
his shoulder just doing his own like gimmick. So
True, yeah.
you know,
I think he could take a beating because of what happened with Brock at SummerSlam that time.
that's true. Remind us what happened there. Like, did Brock take liberties?
Done it the hard way, busting him open. It was all planned between them two,
Oh, okay.
but no one knew about it. So
Oh, was this the thing where Jericho thought it was?
Right.
Yeah. Jericho thought it was a shoot.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Okay. Usos. I'm saying they're absolutely
Oh, yeah.
tough.
yeah, definitely.
Tough as nails. Right, let's see who we get to here. Okay, so the 24/7 champion, Reggie. What do we reckon? Tough or not?
Not if you caught up with him.
Not if you caught up. Like, he can run. He's athletic. But are we in agreement not actually tough?
Surprisingly athletic.
It's still- You can drive an ice cream van.
Yeah? An ice cream van. Okay, NXT champion, Tommaso Champa. He looks tough. You don't think so, Gav?
Nah.
Oh, interesting.
I'd say yes, but obviously his neck would be an issue in a
Yeah,
fight,
yeah.
a real fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? I've got to skip this. I don't even know who. Isaiah Scott is the NXT North American champion. Didn't know that. Right.
Oh, Swerve Scott, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, he's a champion because he hides the belt under his shirt.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see who else we've got here. So let's go through these like quick. AJ Styles, tough or not? You think no?
No.
I lean towards no. I think he's a brilliant performer, but I don't think actually. Then we have here. Let's scroll down. Apollo Crews, tough or not?
Probably. probably.
Not sure.
I'm not sure on him.
I'm
Not
not
sure.
sure. I get the feeling. I think he probably could handle himself in a lot of situations. Octagon, if we're talking that level, I'm not so sure. Let's see who else we have here. Lashley, obviously tough. One of the toughest on the roster.
They've got
Okay, so they've just like announced as well that we're gonna get Goldberg and Lashley again. So Goldberg's gonna get his win back basically. But for heaven's sake, give us Lashley and Brock. That's literally since they re-signed Lashley, what 3 years, 4 years ago. That is the main match we want.
Yeah, I think they're saving it for Mania. That's my opinion. I mean, it might be wrong, but
Hope so. Let's hope.
Yeah, they've got to give it. Okay, well the next on the list is Booker T. Obviously tough. We agreed on that earlier. And the next is Brock, who it goes without saying, tough as nails.
what was it Pat McAfee said? If aliens came to Earth, that's the guy you'd send.
Yeah. That's a brilliant quote. Okay, Cedric Alexander.
Nah.
He doesn't strike me. I'd lean towards no, but he could surprise. But then I think
No, he's a
I think the next couple will all be in agreement. We don't have to go through the whole roster because I suddenly forgot they have 7,000 wrestlers now.
Cedric Alexander never even appealed to me as a heel. So I can't imagine him being a tough guy.
No. Okay, Cesaro.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he has to be like. Chad Gable, I believe. Yeah, he's an amateur wrestler, so we'll have it. But then let's see who we've got here. Dolph Ziggler, tough or not? No.
no.
The first one to run away.
Wow. Okay. Dominic Mysterio.
He's still got to grow.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. What was if we jump from Dominic to Ray? Tough or not?
I think he's tough.
I've been raised up.
He will hold his ground, but I don't know if he will.
Yeah,
stand
Sarah
tall.
G. I completely agree. I think he would, if he was faced with someone, I think he'd do it. Like I
Yeah.
think he'd do everything to talk, but I think he would be prepared to fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in that sense, I think Mysterio, like Rey Mysterio, I think he would beat a lot more people than you'd give him credit for.
Yeah.
So if we put it in that sense, let's grab a few more interesting
No,
ones. Okay, let's just grab some of the more interesting ones. I forgot they have 7,000 wrestlers. So Drew McIntyre, tough or not?
Yep.
I think he can handle himself.
See, I think he can handle himself. If he was in an octagon, I think he'd be again like smashed to smithereens.
Yeah.
Is my opinion. What about Edge? If we take away the injury aspect, if we go back to his prime,
No.
really? Okay, let's grab a few more here. Let's see anyone that's like particularly of interest. Jeff Hardy, I think, is a no. Okay, back in the day, here's an interesting one. Going back to their prime, Jerry the King Lawler. Now, I think that's super interesting. I think he would lose as many as he would win, and I think it would be a surprise every time.
If it was zombies he was facing, then maybe yes.
If it was women younger than him, then he's out all out.
Amazing!
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Jinder Mahal.
No idea.
Yeah, he's a mysterious one. Like, clearly he's put in the work to change his physique,
Let me
radically.
tell you something. Being an Indian myself, I can tell you this, that maybe he isn't born Indian, but he has that Punjabi blood in him. So rub him the wrong way and he can be as tough as nail.
Okay. Interesting take. Okay. Let's see who else we get to. John Morrison. He's a dancer. He's a gymnastic. Yeah. Okay. Karrion Kross. Despite how he's been booked recently, he was booked as unbeatable before.
I don't know him that well, so.
Okay.
I'll go yes.
I think I'd lean more towards yes. Keith Lee has to be. Like if Keith Lee actually got in the ring and was not good or got in the octagon, I think what he would have is that he would just he has like the size and the ability, and he's got enough movement to him that he could just get people down and ground them. You know, what would be, I think, a more interesting test is, you know, would it be like a technique like thing that someone gets to like a quick knockout blow or something? Kevin Owens.
Oh yes, very tough.
Really? Tell us why, Sarajit.
I don't know, that guy. I've seen some of his indie matches. The way he interacts, the way he carries himself, it shows that he could be tough.
But I mean, it's just looking at his character.
Yeah.
Not only that, being almost 300 pounds, he jumped off the WrestleMania sign last year.
Yeah, like, okay, so yeah, he'll take risks, like, you know, that is to his credit. But, you know, in a real fight, you know, this is how we learn. Like, because also, I suppose with this, if we go back to, we should probably discuss this like another time, but like Brawl for All, like everyone, like, guys, have you all seen Brawl for All when they did it?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Oh my God, Andrew,
I know of it.
you have to go back and watch it. Like, people hated it. I'm so fascinated and intrigued by it. I genuinely, like, at the time I found it a bit dull, because it was a bit dull, but I would love them to, in a sense, I would just love it. I'm glad it exists, and I would love for it to happen again, like now. I'd love to see who would actually, like, go through. Because when you go back and you look and, you know, you see, like, there were so many problems with it, with people dropping out and people not wanting to do it and this and that. But, like, when you see that, you know, Bart Gunn, who no one rated at all, would, like, go on to win, like, that Dr. Death, like, shockingly, Dr. Death Steve Williams got shockingly knocked out by Bart Gunn, but also, like, Hardcore Holly was in it, Bradshaw's in it, and oh, do you know what, I'm gonna find the, just, like, unfortunately for the people watching, I can't send you this clip, you can look it up, like, but I'm gonna find the clip and show you guys later. Bradshaw, I think, against Bart Gunn, and, like, Bradshaw is out on his feet, and they're like, "You good to go?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good," and he's not good to go, and he goes back in for like another second. I think if he's against Bart, and Bart just like power, you know, knocks him down, and then obviously, so if that showed that Bart Gunn was, like, genuinely the tough one, Bart Gunn was then sent to slaughter against Butterbean, WrestleMania 14. 15, yeah, WrestleMania 15, just utterly, like, seconds, utterly destroyed. But, like, you look at them as well, and I don't know tons about Butterbean's reputation other than his 2 or 3 WWE appearances, but, like, they're in a complete different weight class, and Butterbean just, you know, it was probably the easiest payday of his life.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, right, we'll move on there, because, like I said, they've got, like, hundreds of thousands of wrestlers and stuff. But let's go on to a quick fire round. I'm going to tell you a couple of news headlines, just because, like, we started off talking about, like, if we'd seen NXT 2.0. It's segued a couple of times this week. But I'm going to tell you some headlines. I'm going to blank out a word or part of the headline, and you have to guess either correctly or amusingly what you think the headline is. And let's just add Andrew onto this, because you did a late run in. So, Big E reveals whether he has a problem with blank. Big E reveals whether he has a problem with blank. What do we think it is?
If it's Big E.
With his name? Or with himself?
Better not go there.
Oh, with his Big E. Oh shit, man! I just realised what you said. Good guess, but no, that's unsurprisingly not the right.
With not knowing what the E stands for.
What does the E stand for? I've never thought about that.
His name.
What is his name?
Itori?
Oh, okay. Sarajit?
He has a problem with the Bloodline versus New Day storyline. He thinks this should have been a little bit built up. There should have been more stories added to the angles.
this is all quite possibly true. He may do, but the headline we were looking for is Big E reveals whether he has a problem with part-time wrestling, or part-time wrestlers, I should say. Whether he does or not, I don't know. I'm just looking at the headlines here. And next up, we will have here. And wait, what's this? Oh no, okay. And let's see. Our next headline is JBL addresses the blank with Moro Ronaldo. Any guesses here? The what?
Screw job? I don't know.
The screw job? No, not quite. It is just. I'll give this one here. It's just that he discusses the heat between them, because obviously, Moro Ronaldo, like, he quit because of hazing by JBL and stuff like this.
So they sat down together then.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have. I'll check this. Addresses the situation. Oh no, it's, so I don't think they've actually like met up. I think it's just that they're talking about it.
Right.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got. Okay, Jake Roberts says he is blank after undergoing surgery. Jake Roberts says he is blank after undergoing surgery. Any guesses here?
I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah. A snake.
He's a snake after undergoing surgery. Do you know what? I think that would be like the perfect like life goal for Jake Roberts, where he's like, guys, I've done it. The arms are gone, the legs they've been stitched together. You know, I've forked the tongue, but no. It is basically that he's good. He's back in the saddle after undergoing surgery, so you know he's doing well. And let's see what else we've got here. So, Sammy Guevara captures blank. Sarajit? Yes, it is. Correct answer there. 100%, absolutely. Should probably start giving some points on the show here. But captures the...
I should get a point for the snake one.
Yeah, you can definitely get a point for that, Andrew. I do agree. But captures the TNT Championship last night on AEW Dynamite. And let's see. What else we got here? Any other interesting headlines? Maybe not, to be honest. No, we don't. So, with that, we will just move on to an update from the news desk of the Iron Sheik, as is the tradition. And so, to give the latest update from the Iron Sheik, I can say that here, with all sincerity, go fuck yourselves. So, that is the latest news. Do you know what? We were going to do the show yesterday, and I had actually seen there was a really good one. Oh, yeah, this is it, from yesterday. If you are reading this, go fuck yourself. And I actually responded to that one from the Iron Sheik. And I put, how did you type this without reading it? So, that's great. The thing is, I can't imagine that the Iron Sheik is actually writing this. It's surely someone is doing it for him.
I'm not sure, you know.
I don't know. Like, maybe he's really tech savvy and all that, or he's learnt Twitter. You know, I don't know. I just feel like it's someone doing it for him. It's like he's employed someone just to do it, you know. But, okay, with this, let's go on to a quick fire. No, we're going to play 20 questions. We're running low on time. So, I will think of a wrestler, and you'll have 20 questions between you to try to figure out who I am thinking of. And let's see who I've got here. Okay, I've got someone. So, Sarajit, you get the first question.
Have you ever worked for WWE?
Yes, I have. Andrew.
Are you currently employed by WWE?
I am not, no. Gav.
Are you female?
No, I am not. Sarajit.
Have you ever been the WWE World Champion or WWE Champion?
I've never been World Champion, so not Universal, not World, not WWE. So just to clarify on that, no, I've not. Andrew.
Are you in AEW?
Yes, I am. Gav.
Are part of the elite?
No, I am not. That cuts out quite a few though, so good thinking.
Ever been the WWE United States champion?
Now, bear with me 1 second. I can confirm 100% I have never been WWE United States champion. Yeah. Just had to make sure. Andrew.
Let's cut out even more people. Are you a member of the Dark Order?
No, I am not. Gav, are you there or have you frozen? Oh no, you're there.
I froze for a bit. I think I'm back.
You are, you're back.
Cool. Okay. Are you in a tag?
Am I in a tag team right now?
Yeah.
No, I am not. I am not in a tag team right now. I have been in a tag team in the past, though. Okay, Sarajit.
Does your name has 2 A's?
Does my name what?
Has 2 A's.
Does my name have 2 A's?
Yes.
Yes.
Arn Anderson.
Yes? How on earth did you get that? How on earth did you get that? That is so weird. What?
Wow.
That is the most unbelievable shot in the dark I have ever had playing any game.
I was actually writing it down. Whatever you have said that you have.
Yeah,
or
but
you
like
have
almost
I
all of
have.
the answers were like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not a woman. No, I've not been world champion. No, I've not been US champion. How on earth? I'm not in the Dark Order.
No. Let me clarify. You said that.
You can read my mind, man. This is insane.
You just said that you haven't been the United States WWE United States champion.
Yeah.
But
I
for
checked.
that-
He hasn't been. Look, I was worried. Oh, has he been WCW? Because it's the same lineage.
Yeah.
But he hasn't.
But for that, if it was a recent or a current WWE or AEW superstar, you didn't have to look up on the internet whether it was I was actually thinking about Rusev. But then you said no, you haven't been a WWE World United States champion. You're not in the Dark Order, or you haven't. You used to be a part of tag team in WWE.
Do you know what, Sarajit? Like, I'm giving
Give me
you
all the
10
points.
points for that. You get so many points.
But then again, I'm the best in the world.
Yeah, like that was insane. Wow. Shit. On that note, let's do.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, we could just wrap it there. Okay, look, we won't do another quick fire game. We spent a lot of time like talking and stuff earlier, but what I will do is like, okay, so if there is one, whether you have one or not, come up with one. But whether you have one or not, like, what is the biggest thing on your mind about wrestling this week? This is a new segment on the show. I'm half making up as we go along because I expected there to be longer 20 questions. So, what is like the major thought you guys have got about anything in the wrestling? What is the thing that's at the top of your mind at the moment? Sarajit, I will ask you first since you just blew my mind.
This new Becky Lynch, after she has returned, the way she's playing heel, it's not very appealing. As if like she's trying very hard, but she's not connecting with the crowd too much. I mean, like this is, it's not like natural. When she did the heel turn before, it was very natural. But this time it looks like that she's trying hard, but she's just not getting it.
Yeah. Okay.
Even
Yeah.
her
No. Do you know what? I completely agree. I
with
don't
her
think
match with
her
Bianca.
character is working for me at the moment.
No.
I think people want to like her. They tried this before. They tried to make her heel when everyone wanted to like her. Why fight it?
I was going to say it's a Stone Cold action, kind of like WrestleMania 17.
Yeah.
It's forced.
Yes, absolutely. My God, yeah, we can speak about that another day. Was that like the thing that just ended like the momentum of WWE? That
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Andrew, what is the big thing in wrestling on your mind this week or at the moment?
I would say WWE overall going forward. I'll be honest, I've only gotten into watching AEW properly rather than over the last couple of years. I've dipped in and out of it. It's only since All Out that I've started watching it. And I'll be honest, there's plenty in AEW I don't like.
Yeah.
You know, with all the stuff WWE's been doing over the past, especially this year with all the releases and stuff like that. I mean, there's still enough in WWE that I like that I still watch. That will always be the case. As long as the things I like outweigh the things I don't, then I still watch. But in terms of creative in WWE, I'm at that point where I'm wondering if maybe things need to get worse before they get better. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I guess, like, just very quickly on that, is like when you look back at the Monday Night Wars and stuff like this, it was WWE started to do well when they were at their lowest point. They had to go down that low before maybe this is what they were trying with NXT 2.0 and it hasn't worked. But or it hasn't worked so far. But
I'm not comparing now to the Monday Night Wars because as long as AEW is on a different channel, it doesn't really. Dynamite suddenly went on a Monday night, and then on Friday, it's Rampage. But that's an hour long. And
yeah. No, I see what you mean. But no, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better in that sense. But Gav, what's the big thing on your mind this week?
Big thing on my mind was Sasha coming back and looking tremendous. Do you know what? Because I haven't really watched WWE in over a year, and it's only been since, I think it's SummerSlam, that I started getting back into it. I've missed all the stuff with the Hurt Business before, so now seeing that they're back, it's like, okay, now I'll get a chance to actually see what everyone's been going on about. So, looking forward to having a look at that. And again, this incarnation of Roman, I'm only now getting to see myself, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, oh my god, Roman, for all of the years that people were saying that, they should just turn Roman heel, I think it is, in a sense, better now that they waited this long. He is so, and with Heyman there, everything about it that he does works. Everything about it works. But again, the Hurt Business was one of the things that was good over the last year, and as soon as Lashley was world champion, they threw it away. And the interesting thing, obviously, at the moment that AEW loves their trios is that suddenly WWE we've got the New Day. And why? And I'm glad that we've got the New Day. Whereas obviously they had split them up somewhat, and it was don't stop destroying the things that people like. The Hurt Business. Obviously, it's a trio, and MVP sort of he does wrestle occasionally, but it is basically a trio. And then obviously Roman with the Usos. It's this is a very interesting thing, which they could really run with if they go to. Okay, but coming back, for me, to go back to what I was saying at the start of the show, the thing that's really caught my attention, because I've been thinking it a while, is what, and Andrew, you would have missed this earlier, I was saying that with AEW, Tony Khan obviously started it with the Young Bucks, with Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes, and then there's been this news story which suggests that Tony Khan basically runs the whole show and that the others are EVPs in name only. And I really think that it's going to be a case that, yes, they've got Kenny as the world champion, but sooner or later it's going to be Bryan. They'll, move on to someone else. And obviously bringing in Adam Cole means that whole little clique of the Elite and everything, they're all going to be around their friends, and that's going to be good. But Cody or something's going to go wrong, and suddenly it's going to be that one of the EVPs goes. And if one of the EVPs goes, or one of the Elite, I think at some point, maybe it won't be for 3 years, maybe it won't be for 2 years, but at some point, I think the Elite, whether it includes Cody or not, are going to suddenly say, well, All In was ours. And so, AEW, bye-bye, we're going to do All In to ourselves. And everything else was Tony Khan hijacking it. And then it'll be very interesting to see, do the audience support Tony Khan, who's just the guy, or do they support the guys who they supported the whole time, which were the underdogs, the Elite? But that is my thought.
I was going to say, all respect to them, Young Bucks aren't billionaires. So Tony can throw money at it to make it work.
Yeah, okay. But, like, you know, there's... Like, if you look at some of the people that were in AEW at the beginning, and, like, they were meant to be, like, some of these big well, not necessarily even big signings, but there's sooner or later we're going to start to see some people leave AEW. Now, it might be that it's a nice place to work, but when you think of, like, Joey Janela and, who else? Like, Sonny Kiss and, I'm trying to think, like, so... Scorpio Sky and like Scorpio Sky was like one of the first people getting a title shot against Jericho, and he's basically he's doing nothing. He's like they have put him in a storyline, but Frankie Kazarian, he's like, there's so many of the ones that seemed important in the early days, and it's like, well, now we've got Bryan Danielson, now we've got Adam Cole. Now, you know, even like having like FTR come in, and at some point they might be like, well, I thought tag team wrestling was going to be the big thing here, and it's only the big thing if the Bucks are in the match.
I mean, like, you're always limited to TV time. Like, there's only a 2-hour show, 1-hour show on Friday. So, it's not enough. I think you have to create almost another division.
Well, do you know, they do have, like, AEW Dark on YouTube. But again, imagine, like, because I'll give the example again of Joey Janela, who, I don't have a problem with Joey Janela. I don't think, to be honest, again, not to, like, be bad about Joey Janela, but I understand why he's not featured. But, like, on their first, second, or probably a second or third show, like Fight for the Fallen or something, the main event was Jon Moxley and Joey Janela. And now Joey Janela doesn't appear on TV anymore. So, and like Brian Cage and Lance Archer, it was like when they came in, it was these big things, and now they're floating around nowhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my thought. So we will wrap things here. Let's find out where people can find you on social media. Sarajit, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at FluffyCosplayer.
Okay, Andrew, where can the people find you?
Not on social media, but I'll be here for the. I'm not very good at this. The next show, whatever it is.
Gav, where can the people find you?
Find me here next week or whenever.
Okay, my name's David Posansky. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Do go to the website Xstreamed.tv, and we should announce it, but here we go. Sarajit, with your mind-reading skills, you're this week's Extreme Improv Slam Jam champion. Booyah. There you go. Awesome. So with that, thank you very much.